Hey gang, it's Chris Angel coming at you with another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. So I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting last night. It was actually the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. If you guys don't know about the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, shout out to Camille Leon. You can actually learn more about it by just Googling it. Google Holistic Chamber of Commerce, and you can learn more about them there. So I was at a Holistic Chamber of Commerce chapter meeting last night, and I was a sponsor for the event, and so I had 3 minutes to share something, and I wanted to pass it on here because it's really important. And it often gets overlooked when we talk about web shows, social media marketing. We tend to think of social media marketing, right, as like, I'm going to do a Facebook post or a YouTube video, and then I'm going to get all these people in the interwebs to see it and like it, engage with it, comment. But what we miss a lot of times with shows or with web content is that there is, actually, let me just recreate the evening last night. So there was this other sponsor. Her name's Angie. Shout out to Angie. She had, her company's called Breakwater Excursions. I think it's Excursions. Angie, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And what they do is they actually create events, excursions, outdoor excursions for businesses and their clients, which is super cool. So she gave her 3-minute presentation and people loved it, totally landed. Everybody was like, that's amazing. And then I got up and I had my 3 minutes. And what I said was, and I'm saying this to you watching this, what I said to her and everybody else was, Angie just gave a great presentation and all of you loved it. And I'm left with, I think it's amazing too, but I have a lot more questions about what you do. And if I don't track you down and have coffee with you, like as soon as this meeting's over, we're all going to go back to our lives. Life's going to get busy. And unless we are proactive enough to say, tell me more about that, we're going to go about our lives, get busy, and we won't see you until next month. And then next month, we'll have our agenda. We get busy. We may not be able to unpack all the questions we have about the cool thing you do. Look, guys, that is the reality of a busy life with lots of stimulus around us. Like we're just overstimulated and we don't sit down with Angie to hear more about what Angie does. Similarly, you go take the time and energy to go to a networking meeting. You have a good interaction, but it leaves the person with a lot more questions about what you do and how you can help. And so the networking meeting ends or the coffee appointment ends, off you go back into your busy lives. And the person has all these questions, but because of life gets busy, their interest just starts to dissolve over the next couple days. And there's no way to learn more about what you do unless they spend another hour over coffee in a week or a month from now, hoping to unpack more of what you do. You can see, guys, that this is highly inefficient. The challenge with networking is amazing. The challenge is it's inefficient, right? Just an outlook. For me, it takes at least 30 minutes, more of an hour to really start to get into somebody's story. And right when the hour's up, I gotta go. So as much as I started to uncover stuff, there's so much more I want to know about you. So what do we do? How do we fix that? What am I supposed to send you a daily handwritten note every week that explains all the things I do? That one handwritten note would go to one person. It would take me forever to write. My hand would be sore. I wouldn't want to do any more because my hand was sore. And that note would only go to one person. There was no residual value to the note that I sent you. Or if I did a one-person email communication and instead of a note, I can type faster than I write. So I type you a note and I say, hey, great meeting yesterday. Here's a little bit more about what I do. And then I sent the email to one person. There's no residual value in that one email. So do you see where I'm going with this? Like if you saw the title of the post, right, when I'm talking about a show, the power of a show, and by a show, I mean you have a weekly, you can start with weekly. This is a daily show, but you could have a weekly show where you get to talk about the things you're fired up about, your business, your passions, etc. And people then get to know you ongoingly on their time. Doesn't take any of your time. You record the episode once and it can go to all sorts of people. And I'm telling this to you outside of the context of people online organically finding you. I'm saying last night, if Angie got up and told her story about what Breakwater does And everybody's like, this is amazing. And she's like, yes. Now, I know a lot of you are going to have questions. There's a lot more of what we do. So I have a show. It's called, Breakwater Breakthroughs, or whatever it would be called. Go check it out. I can send you all a link, and then you can just start to listen to the different episodes to kind of learn more about what we do. Now, she could have, I don't know how many episodes she would have at the time she said that, but she would have a place for people to self-select however many episodes they wanted to binge listen to in a podcast form or a YouTube form or Facebook form, however they wanted to consume it. But they then get to build relationship with Angie, even though it's not using any of Angie's time. So here's my point. A lot of you are doing great work to create interest and intrigue. You're doing great work to create relationship, but you're not giving people a chance to go deeper in relationship with you in a way that's scalable. And what I'm saying to you is that a show is scalable. The phrase I like to use is relationship at scale. What I've noticed about the podcast that I listen to is that I feel like I know the people. I'm like best friends with the people, and they don't even know who I am, right? Like, I laugh at their jokes and their podcasts. I'm like, oh, you're so funny when you say that. I love it when you say that. And I'm saying that in my car as I drive, listening to their podcast, and they have no idea who I am or that I even said that. But affinity is created, relationship is created, connection is created in the form of a show when you're being real and passionate and convicted about the things you do, and you give other people a chance to listen to it. And rather than waiting for people to find you organically in the interwebs, you guys are having daily interactions with people who get you, like you, love you. Why not give them a show to go learn more about all the things you have to say? The challenge with social media is that it's been sort of siloed. We've been put into this compartment of like, if I do social media, the only place people can find out about it is as if they stumble into it, right? Have you guys seen that feed, the post that people make where it's like, hey, Facebook's algorithm is weird. I haven't seen any of your posts in a while. So if you're seeing this post, please click like and say yes in the comments so that I can stay connected with my friends. Like, we don't have to play those games, guys. Marketing for the rest of us is about not having to play those games. Especially if you're a local business, every day you're bumping into people face to face, especially if you're a local business. Guys, one of the hardest challenges for local businesses is, how do I stay connected to my customer? How do I create repeat business over and over again? How do I create customer loyalty? You create it through connection and relationship. Okay, well, the next question is, how do I create relationship? What am I supposed to send? Newsletters, handwritten notes? Am I supposed to do happy hours? No, create a show. You create a show. You create a show. And for most people, I'd suggest start at a weekly show. A weekly show is super manageable. If you use a service like our service at my agency, what we do is we interview you so that it makes it even easier. You didn't have to know what to say. We just pull it out of you. We pull out of you all the things that you are fired up to say, but don't know how to say when you turn your camera on. We interview you and make it easy. Then we produce it as a show. We share it to your Facebook page, your YouTube channel. We write a blog post about it. We write an email for you. We give you all the ways to share it. But then when people come into your store, if you're a brick and mortar store, be like, hey, listen, have you heard about our podcast? Have you listened to our podcast or our show? No. Oh my God, you gotta go listen to it. This is what we talk about. Right? Or if you're at a party and somebody's like, what's new with you? You're like, oh, I just launched a show. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. You're like, right, well, I'll share it to you. I'll send you a link. Once people listen to it, they come back. It's fascinating. Like, I just had lunch with a client today, an agency client today, and what he said was like, every time we send out our email, and it's the email that we write for them, every time we send out that email, people are like, oh, I love these emails. I love watching your show. We listen to your show all the time. Like, right? So how often does it come out? Is it once a month? He's like, no, twice a month. Right. Twice a month. Oh, we love it. He's just sending it to his database. He's nurturing his database with a show from an email that we wrote for him. And they love it because he's in the show and they feel connected to him. This is how we take social media from a place of just information sharing and inspirational quotes that are no longer inspirational and actually create connection with you as a human being to the people you're really trying to serve. So every business, I believe, we used to say like, look, every business needs to have a website, and then it kind of evolved into like every business needs to have a blog, right? Well, I think now every business needs to have a show. A show is more relevant than a website, although I'm not saying you don't need a website. A website serves its role. What I am saying is that your content marketing, your content is the constant over time that nurtures the relationship at scale. Then you can reserve your handwritten notes and your coffee appointments for the top graded people that you really want to be talking to. Your army of ambassadors you can send handwritten notes to and take out to coffee. But for everybody else that still likes you, but they're not an ambassador, well, your content nurtures that relationship. And if it's a consistent thing, then what happens is, what we found in our agency is that people start looking forward to it. And it's cool because the client today I had lunch with said, it's fun because now when we send out our show, I don't feel like I'm always just sending an email when I'm asking for something. And they, on the receiving end, don't feel like, oh, this guy only sends an email when he wants something. Now it's content for the sake of the relationship. And there's no ask. There's no ask in the content. It's a relationship. The content's for the relationship. So I think you get the point. I'm beating a dead horse here. I will leave you with this. You're spending your time, energy, and money to build connections with people. And if all you do is have the initial connection and you have no content to point them to nurture that relationship at scale, then you're working highly inefficiently. You're highly inefficient, and you could be scaling relationships in your entire city so much faster if you had a show. If you'd like to learn how we do that with people, you can go to mygroundswell.com. Otherwise, just start going Facebook Live like this. The whole reason I'm doing a show like this show, Marketing for the Rest of Us, Facebook Live daily, every day, no bells and whistles, no music, anything, is to show you that you can do it as simple as this. It doesn't have to have bells and whistles to deliver value. Hopefully in this conversation, I've delivered value to you. And there's no bells and whistles. It's just me and you having a conversation about something that I saw, right? Thanks, Luke. That's awesome. Blow it up. Hearts. I love it. So that's it, gang. I mean, your show is your ability to create relationship at scale. So again, if you want to learn more about how we do that with clients, go to mygroundswell.com. And if otherwise, just start going live. But that is your ability to create relationship at scale, and you don't have to wait organically for people to find you. Just start sharing with the people you're already trying to create an interaction with, or that you already created an interaction with. Okay, that's it, gang. I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Until then, go create some content.